You know, I would say that it feels like it's been eons since the last really great 2D exploration platformer's release, but Momodora Reverie Under the Moonlight came out earlier this week, and holy crap, have I been having a blast with it. The fourth Momodora game to come out, Reverie Under the Moonlight, is a prequel set before the events of the first game in the series. From the clever and creative minds at Bomb Service, Momodora is now a 4-game series with releases in 2010, 2011, 2014, and now 2016. In Reverie Under the Moonlight, you play as a priestess in a land infected with some kind of ever-spreading curse. In hopes to try and save her village, she makes her way to the capital city in an effort to get assistance from the queen. Upon arriving, however, the young priestess quickly learns that things are pretty much not at all good. What's so impressive about Momodora is the way it takes elements from the Souls series and sifts through them, keeping only a few core nuggets to the series. The combat is very intense and decisive, and it requires skill. You have items and health that recharge at scattered about checkpoints, and there's a huge focus on exploration, secret finding, and piecing together the lore and history of this universe as you progress through dialogue and item descriptions. Combat, though it's dangerous and requires skill, is satisfying, simple, and visceral. There's really only one combo for the player's attacks, making it easy to learn. As you progress, you'll get more movement options, items to assist you in dealing damage, or trinkets that modify your attacks in special ways. You always have your melee range Sacred Leaf equipped, and you've always got your trusty bow ready to fire. So basically, you can use either to attack by just pressing the button. You don't have to swap anything out. Melee feels like it has weight. You're not simply swinging a leaf around all willy-nilly. It has punch and delay to its attacks. The animations for Melee are really well done, having a perfectly animated set of frames and a nice freeze frame when a hit connects. The timing involved for attacking, dodging, and moving around are precise, and as you get better with the system, you'll feel more and more skilled as you take on tougher and tougher bosses and enemies. Boss fights are incredibly intense and get decently harder as the game progresses. The pacing for them is on point, plain and simple. It's perfectly possible to beat most bosses on your first try as long as you play carefully and pay attention to their attack patterns. I'll be honest, there's one fight that was so much fun, I just wanted to keep doing it. Each boss has left me filled with adrenaline and has given me that same satisfaction that beating a new boss in the Souls game does. Exploration is one of the main parts of Momodora, and there's plenty of it to go around. For the most part, you'll be able to run around and make progress without any real issues. There's a slew of unique environments that are all connected in pretty reasonable ways. I haven't yet found an area transition that didn't make sense, and that's a huge step towards making the world believable. And for the most part, exploration is, like I said, pretty smooth, and it's pretty easy to make progress. I did manage to get myself lost, and I couldn't figure out how to progress at one point, and I feel that I should point out why. The way I needed to go was a ladder into some water, and I'd previously fallen into some water and died, so I figured I needed to lower this water level before I could take the ladder safely. Turns out I was wrong, and the water in this location wasn't going to kill me by stepping in it. So that was about half an hour of running around and trying to figure things out. It'd be nice if, at least for this point, or at least for any wary points, it was a bit easier to find the path, though I do understand that figuring out where to go next is a huge part of the charm for exploration games like this. This was a bit much. Each area is littered with secrets. Usually these are hidden passages or easy to find side paths with either an upgrade or a chest of money at the end. There are a lot that are quite difficult to find. For those of you that want some help finding every single secret, there's an item you can get that lets you know when you're in a room with the secret by making a little noise. Speaking of items, the system that Momodora uses for equipment is fairly standard, though a little different than usual. You have 2 slots for items with passive effects, like a necklace or a ring, and then 4 slots for usable items. It seems like usable items recharge at save points, but it's possible that there are a few that I haven't found that just don't recharge. You can switch out your equipment through the pause menu and cycle through usable items that you have set with the press of a button, actually using the selected item with the press of another. Like I said, it's a pretty simple and standard system, but I feel it's worth noting because it does a great job of not getting in the way. It's very easy to spend very little time in the menus, and that's great, especially for an exploration game that wants to suck you in and get you involved. I feel that there are a lot of more modern games that shove you into menus far more frequently than they should, so it feels good to have one that kind of just lets you play. Momodora does a great job of revealing only bits and pieces of the plot as it feels you need to know them. Occasionally, an NPC will give you a small bit of dialogue and direct you to your next goal, if only vaguely. I'll admit that at first I was worried nothing would ever be explained because the game just drops you in the middle of everything, and I was quite confused for a little bit. But as I talked to some NPCs, I started piecing things together, and the situation the city is in began to form, or at least some theories on it. It's a satisfying delivery method for story, and it has some really awesome moments. The art and sound in-game are as on point as everything else. The animation is smooth and uses some classic animation techniques to create really solid sensations of motion. Areas are visually diverse and have sounds to match. Everything feels just as colorful as it should be, and there's a very consistent theme of color for each area. Momodora Reverie Under the Moonlight is far from a standard 2D side-scroller. It's a work of art that takes you on a ride through an incredible world with challenging combat, an insane story, and beautiful music. Its regular price on Steam is about $10. If you're a fan of the Souls series, Metroid, or Castlevania games, then this is one for you. Thanks for joining me for this episode of Indie Bytes. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please remember to leave a like and subscribe for more. If you have any indie games that I should check out, then please shoot them my way. You can leave a comment down below, or you can drop me a line on Twitter. My handle's @forkh, or you can shoot me an email at fork4h@gmail.com. I'll see you next time. Bye! For real though, f*** these witches.